Welcome to the Path Less Travel podcast. This week we feature the CEO of CAPS, Rebecca Shetler-Fast. Rebecca, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Greg. Great to be here.
Well, I'm excited for our conversation because you guys do some amazing work here at CAPS. And I know I've been able to hear you speak about the organization. You're super passionate. The people that work here are super passionate about the work that they do. You're having such an impact. So we'll get into that, and we'll get into, your leadership style, because you've been here at CAPS since 2022. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And just what's that transition been like? So you started in September as a CEO here. Before that, you were working with Oak Lawn, is it right, with The Source?
Yeah.
So what's the transition been like here to CEO?
Boy, you can never quite fully imagine what it's going to be like to be CEO. And as I think about kind of that journey of that, it's been intense and exciting and a roller coaster and so deeply fulfilling. Like, you know, when you're in the right place and you feel it in your bones, you're like, yes, I was made for this. Like, I remember those first weeks, I would come home and I'd be thinking about all the things and the opportunities and the staff. And it's just hard. It was hard to shut off my brain because it was so exciting and it felt like it was this accumulation of the things I believed most and getting to be in this position to lead and bring the vision. So it's been an incredible journey. And 2 years feels like 20. I'd say most CEOs would say that. And it just feels like such a journey.
Yeah, there's just something about being kind of the right person in the right seat. I know you're in an EOS organization here, but
yes.
When your calling, what you believe your calling is, and kind of where you're positioned, in your career for that alignment to happen.
Yes, it's that magic. Like, it's intense, and it doesn't mean that there aren't challenges, but boy, you feel like you're wired to figure it out and to get through it. So it's exciting and exhilarating, I think, is the word I would use.
So tell us about CAPS.
Well, CAPS, incredible organization, unique in the state of Indiana. We're the largest child abuse prevention and response organization. So what's really unique
in the state of Indiana?
In the state of Indiana.
Wow.
So we do this whole cluster of services, Craig, that first of all try to prevent child abuse. That is our goal, and our mission is supporting families so every child can live a life free from neglect and abuse. But if we can't, we have this whole suite of services where we respond after the fact. And so almost 50 years ago, next year, a group of local women came together and said, we need to do better. We need to protect children. And so CAPS formed out of that and continued to add on. Many of our programs are the first in the state of Indiana in doing the range of services we do to protect and support kids. And so it's an incredible vision, and only in this community do you see that we came together and made this organization that has this vision for this safe community. And by the numbers, we are uniquely safe and uniquely good at keeping kids safe in this community. Doesn't mean that there's not still room to grow in that, but we've done a really good job in this community, linking arms and saying kids are going to be safe in our community. We are going to move heaven and earth, and we're going to invest our funds, and we're going to give our time to make sure that this is a safe community for kids.
Can you elaborate a little bit on the types of services, but then also transition into what's next for the organization?
So types of services. So if we think about two pillars of our work, prevention services and response, so I'll start with prevention. We do things like educate parents in evidence-based ways. How do you work with a toddler that is, giving you a hard time? So we equip parents with tools in our programs. We do case management. We do direct parenting coaching. We use Triple P. We do things like empower parents and teach them tools together. So things called parent cafes where they gather for a meal. There's childcare. We do things like educate schools, kids in school, kids in churches, adults, how to keep kids safe. And that's a huge part of our work. We call Prevent 360. That to do child abuse prevention, it's not just CAPS, right? Like, we're part of this network of people doing that. Also in prevention, one of our largest programs is called Healthy Families. And that's for vulnerable moms who've just had a baby, and we work alongside them for 5 years to transform and support them to make sure those first 5 years are safe and nurturing. As an interesting fact, that's our most high-risk time for child abuse, so it's a very targeted program.